What's going on, guys? Dave Cordoba here with Cordoba Trained Wrestling. How you doing, guys? You guys are having a good night. We're in for a good one tonight. We have Steve Rivera from Elite Wrestling Club joining us today on a special day. I mean, today, I know it's non-wrestling, but today is the NFL draft at 8 o'clock. So hopefully you guys are tuning into both because I want you guys to listen to a real legend. And then we'll move on, ask him some questions, talk about USA Wrestling, talk about girls wrestling, etc. So really excited for this one. It's going to be a good one today. All right, so keep joining in. And again, if you're watching the NFL draft, like I am, you can watch it on the TV, but you can still listen with your ears to Coach Rivera. That's what I need you guys to do today. All right. So he's in here now. We'll get him going and we'll get started. We'll get going. Let him go. Waiting for him right now. TV!
What's good evening? What's up, man? How you doing?
You don't want to show the shaved head yet? Come on.
Yo,
man.
I got it. Everybody thinks I'm hiding, man. I'm good.
Oh, man.
I went fresh.
Oh, my God.
And it's been honestly 20 years since I shaved my head. And honestly, I feel like I've been liberated. It's
really?
Unbelievable. You would have thought this hot weather could have stuck around. It's freezing though. So
I know, man. I know. And you guys had a little tornado that happened by you guys.
Did you see that at Frankie's videos, man?
I saw those videos, man.
Yeah.
Did it happen to you guys? I mean, you guys.
Nah, it didn't. Melissa, it got real cloudy and windy, but Frankie, legit. I mean, those trees were big that got knocked down and stuff. Thank God no one got hurt.
Yeah, I know. And I was watching those videos, and I'm like, dude, if the news station got a hold of that, they would love it, man.
Yeah, Frankie, he said at first, he's like, at first I just get in the house, and then he's like, get in the house, holy cow, you know.
I'm like, you know what's funny? Because it's like nothing scares that guy, and then so
Mother Nature,
you know, and I think it was more about his kids. Obviously, he wanted to make sure his kids are safe and stuff like that. So, but that was funny, man. That was funny. You know what I didn't realize today? Forgot today was the NFL draft, but you know what? It's all good. You know,
it is. I have it on.
Yeah, I have it on
in the background.
I want to see what the Giants get, and then I'm done with it. I don't really care. So I got to wait to the fourth pick. So we're good.
And what do you think's going to happen this fall? You think you guys will get your full season of football? You think?
I mean, I just care about wrestling. To be totally honest with you, you know,
I don't see much football. I always say that. It's right in the middle of our pushes, man. It's kind of hard to, and Sunday, you're at tournaments, you're not watching football, you know? I catch very few football. I love it, and I love the atmosphere, hanging out with friends doing it and stuff. But
yeah,
with the wrestling career I've run, it's been real hard to be a fan of any spec. I watch people like Delafov and Marky Lee, who are committed Jets fans, and I just don't understand why, you know? But
I've been scrolling through my social media. I'm seeing people with their jerseys on and stuff. It's just I was talking to a friend of mine. I mean, we talk about wrestling and how the kids miss nationals and how the young kids miss the youth states. You're talking about football players who probably waited their whole lives to be on stage to hold up that jersey and get called up by the commissioner. And now they got to do it live stream right now. It's a totally different world now, man. It's crazy, you know.
It's really crazy.
You know, so let me just, introduce you to the people on right now, guys. We have Steve Rivera on today, guys, from Elite Wrestling Club. We're honored to have you on. I'm honored to have you on because, as I told you many times to your face and an interview I had with your son, you're definitely a role model for me, in the wrestling club world, in life. I mean, the way you are with your kids and everything like that. I try to model my wrestling club the way you do. And, you know, you've been around since 1993. That's a long time. That's a long time that you guys been in business. So I was telling my kids on Zoom today, if I'm around for another 20 years with this wrestling club, like Steve Rivera, I was like, I'll be happy, man. You know?
Honored. I feel honored. You know what I mean? Yep. It's an incredible thing. And people like Brian Hammond, he just sent me a picture, or these ones that you saw me post today. I mean, you see Matt Oliver, New Jersey state champ, Vinny Delfov, New Jersey state champ, but you see them and they're 10 years old, you know, these kids that you're rolling with today. And
Yeah.
then here you are 25 years later. Vinny's like, what, 26 now, 27?
Yep, yep, yep.
Frankie's 38. It's just amazing, man. It's just the whole run of it all is just awesome.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I got some kids that are here from club. I wanted to just let them know who you are, man. I know, like, so my kids can know that you were a New Jersey State champion. You were a four-time All-American at Trenton State. You did commit to NC State, I read.
Yeah, I went there. I went there my freshman and sophomore, like middle of my. I left I went 3 semesters there, and yeah, I got to feel it. I feel like I learned so much in that year and a half there with my teammates. We were good. We were like Scott Turner won a national title during the time I was there, and Stokes lost to Kendall Cross in the final. So I got to see what it takes to be that level. And in all honesty, I just didn't have the maturity to put it all together at that time in my life. I really just couldn't hold it together. The class, I wanted to socialize,
Yeah, I mean, similar story with me, and then how I ended up at Montclair State. I went to Division I first, and I came back. But you obviously had a great career. You're a four-time All-American, national champion. You were then you were recently in 2018 inducted to the Hall of Fame for Division III. How was that?
That was amazing, and I really want to thank TCNJ for, making sure that I guess I was recognized, because that's the way it happened. It had to take someone at TCNJ to put my name in there, So I really appreciate that. And it was an honor to go out there, bring my dad, my mom, who have gone on this ride with me, and be able to just, yeah, it was pretty awesome, man. We went out to Cleveland and stuff. It was a good time. And, yeah, very humbled by it. It's like, and I'll be honest, like I was always so proud, because when you win a national title, no matter what division, you go into the Wrestling Hall of Fame for that year of champions, Yeah. And I've never been to the museum, but I know like people have been there and sent me my year,
Yeah,
so for that thing, and then to actually be honored by the National Wrestling Coaches Association, I mean, it's just awesome, man. Honestly,
that's great. I mean, you wrestled with one of my assistant coaches, my club coach, Chris Fari.
Yeah.
And when you got inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2018, one of the first things that came out of his mouth was about time. He thought that you should have went in a long time ago. And I remember him vividly telling me he should have been in. Actually, I'm the one that told him, like, yeah, Steve Rivera's going to Hall. He's like, he's not in yet. I said, no, dude. I go, I don't know. I just read it somewhere. But he's like, that dude should have been there a long time ago. So that just goes to show you what people thought about you, about your wrestling.
Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that, and like, yeah, I just appreciate the whole thing. I went through this earlier today. I talked to the Rooster Risers. He's probably writing some nasty stuff in there right now, but Danny boy, I went through this. We kind of went through a conversation today, because I was trying to go through my wrestling journey all the way back to like 5 years old, why I started, and it's just that New Jersey wrestling story, and it's just fabulous. I couldn't be prouder that, like, with the Jersey thing and who we are and how we do it, and now on the national level to see us, and then the NJRTC to put us on the world level. I mean, there's a lot to be prideful for in New Jersey wrestling, but there's just more that hopefully in time will get done,
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, like, I had, Scott Goodell on here. I had your son on here. I had Anthony Ashnault, Frankie Edgar. I mean, these are people that are literally, that's your circle. That's your circle of people that you're around a lot.
Yeah, I've been blessed, like the Jersey Shore, that growing up down here, and then Region 6, which had its time. It was just a great opportunity to be in wrestling, and then the explosion of it in this area once we started really winning, and then like all the clubs coming around, which has helped, elevate the game and the commitment. The clubs created the commitment, the year-round commitment, the ability to commit, and some people call it specialized, and, they'll burn out, and all those different stories that everybody's different, man, because I've been in it this long, and I could say I have had my love-hate moments throughout my time, but at the end of the day, I passionately love wrestling.
Yeah, and it's funny you just say it, because I was going to ask you a question like that. You've had the wrestling club since '93 or '96?
No, 93. When I came back, I was training. When I was in Connecticut, I was doing I took a contract from Glastonbury. I was the assistant under Ken DeStefanis at Central Connecticut State University. You guys might be young, but they had like good guys there. And honestly, when I was there, like Sean Tripoli, a Jersey guy, everybody probably knows, he's real good friends with Berkey. He was there. There's plenty of guys, and some of them just hit me up, like Dave Chappelle and some of the guys, Mark Frachone. And like that experience for me taught me I didn't want to be a college coach at that level. Wrestling wasn't what it is today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of showed me a little bit of like, yeah, that's good. But then I started doing the private training on the side. Ernie was starting in New Jersey. Ernie Monaco had the Edge School Wrestling. And you saw I went through TCNJ while Monaco and Pete Gonzalez came up, and they're products of, Ernie. So I was well aware of like, wow, there's someone that's taking their passion to the next level and really making a difference in kids' lives, And like that was the beginning up in Connecticut. I kind of did that. And then after my run with the college, they dropped the wrestling there. And I came home and started to get to my career of work. I've always been excited to work. I've always looked forward to working and having I studied sports administration. I was into business. I'm into sports. And, I'm definitely into computer technology and stuff. So I've always was excited to get back and get, I guess, life started. You see a lot of kids today try to stall that point, and with good reason, because you have so many different options today. You know, and our time, it's like, it wasn't like you were going to go fight. You're not going to go get on the NJRTC really, like that stuff didn't exist. So you were going out to Colorado, you had people doing stuff like that. But even then, like in my time, wrestling's come so far, man. It's just amazing for the you guys and this cycle.
Yeah. I mean, again, talk about cycle. I mean, I feel like we're the next round of guys, and you were the guys that just kind of, you said Ernie with you. For me, it's you. It's you. It's Chris Kafari when he owned NJC. This is something that I thought that I would want to do later on in life, and now it became my passion, my love. It's what I do for a living, and just I pick every tournament we go to. I pull you to the side and I talk with you, and I pick your brain all the time. And I'm always asking you questions, and you're always upfront with me. You're always telling me, do this, do that, watch out for this, watch out for that. And you may not think that's a lot that you're giving me, but it means a lot to me, because for you to be around since 1993, okay, not only mentally you're still there, but physically, man, I mean, you're still in shape. I had 2 back surgeries, and I'm only 37, and
I felt so bad for you, man.
Yeah,
like dude, when you were walking with that cane and you could see it in your face at the tournaments and stuff, I was like, gosh, that's got to be so rough,
And I didn't think I was going to come back, to be honest with you. I didn't know. I actually thought everything was done from there, and I was going to have to find a regular job and do something else, like at a desk or something like that. But luckily, I had the 2 surgeries. They were not 100%, but they got me at least back on my feet. My fiance and my assistant coach were running the club while I was in bed trying to get up. And again, for you to do this since 1993 and your body's still holding up and you still look like you do when you were wrestling back in the day.
I think you guys give me a lot more credit, man, because honestly, I wrestle with my son today. And I can tell you, he treats me like, I honestly, like at club when you're wrestling like maybe a 5th grader or 6th grader, and you're just like having the time of your life rolling with them, right? I feel like I'm the 6th grader and he's the man now, and it's just a joke. Like honestly, it's amazing to live it, And like today, our fingers are, just him holding me and me not being able to move and stuff like that. It's just a great full circle of life kind of thing,
All right, I get it though. I get it. But when you wrestle and you're youth kids in class, your body's moving something. But you're talking about today, you're going with a kid that should have probably won nationals. I mean, come on, bro. That's me
He
too.
puts a beating on me. It's so funny. And I giggle inside, but I refuse to just be like, all right, that's it, you know? Like, if he has me in a move on my back and I know he's going to squeeze and break me, I just don't fight. And he's like, you quit. I'm like, no, I'm staying alive, you know? But,
That's funny, man.
yeah, but like you try when you can, when I have a chance, but it's so rare at this point. God, the kid's a monster, you know?
Yeah, someone said he doesn't age. No, he does not age. I'm telling you now. I've known him, he doesn't age. All right, guys, we're gonna. I usually at like the 8:30 mark. Steve, I asked some people that want to ask some questions. They can ask some questions. We only got an hour till 9 o'clock, and
Okay.
some of you, I just started talking and it just starts going forever. 2016 seemed to be a really good year, and I tell you why. Because in 2016, you became the vice president of USA Wrestling for the kids in New Jersey. And in 2016, you became the first, not the first, another father-son duo state champions in the same year. How was that year for you?
Yeah, it was, you know, like all those kind of milestones throughout my life. I feel like between my state titles and national places, then Frankie winning that world title, then that year with my son winning a state title. And yeah, like those kind of things in your life, Dave, that's what we're striving for. You know, you're looking to create greatness for these other people. That's what we do, you know? So like, there's hard to put words for those moments, but I can tell you, I'm not a big guy that dwells on them, but I absorb them at that time. You know, like I take them all the way in, and they're in me, like an inner skin in me. But I don't dwell back, or I don't always remember everything back there because I feel like I've been blessed with so many moments.
Yeah.
It's like you got to live them, but then let's work for the next one. Because if I get satisfied on the moments I have, how fair is that to my kindergartner right now or my first grader? Like I got G-Bone and I got little Baldino. You have those little kids, you know? You
Yeah.
want to be excited for that guy like you were for my first state champ. You know what I mean?
So with all the years that you were traveling with Frankie, I mean, you were all over the world with him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it took away maybe a couple days here and there from the club. I mean, how was that?
Yeah, no, like the thing with Frankie is so unique and special, you know? The opportunity to meet someone like that in your life it's rare. Let's be honest. I mean, it's rare. I don't know many Frankie Eggers in my life, you know, if any. He's a unique character that is rised above the rest at his own pace. You know, he wasn't out of the gun fast. He explained that to you all, and then to be able to watch his rise to greatness and how it happens, and you know, be a part of some of the intro foundations in there, and you know, the team that's around him and the people we put there, how we all get along because we're all there just for him, and you know, like all these things, Crystal Gories and the Marquis Lees, the Delis, the Ricardos, the Marks. I mean, Ali, the crazy guy that he is, we love him to death, but you know, it's like this squadron of all these different people that have come in now over the years. It's just yeah, man, and like you say, going over places. I would never be in South Korea. I would never be in Abu Dhabi. I would never be in Japan, you know, like, and to watch him compete at that level in those places, like it gave me a more of a, he's definitely made me a better coach because you're on such a scale there that, you know, the last thing you want to see is Frankie getting taken down. And like, even myself, I can't replicate that. So we have like Espo, Dave Esposito, who helps us, and Camera, who helps us. And I mean, now we got Lance Palmer around and Cody Novlove. I mean, these dudes can wrestle, you know what I mean? And they have the size that you need to be able to train to be ready for those guys, you know? I would love to be the guy for those guys still, but let's be honest here, man. We're talking, we want to win, you know?
No, 100%. I mean, if you remember the movie, when Tommy Gunn moved into the house with Rocky, Rocky kind of forgot about his son for a little bit because he was so into Tommy Gunn. You guys, that didn't happen to you guys because you were still part of your damn kid's life. You were there every step of the way. You didn't miss anything, and you were able to do both. Talk about the father-son coaching relationship.
Yeah, but I have more than one child, you know, and that's what I was
Yeah,
trying to
you do. You got a daughter.
yeah, and then that's the balance in life that you're trying to find. And I'm sure Jade would say there's many a times that I wasn't there for her, you know, and it would be a fair statement, you know. It is, you know, my wife, I mean, there's so many things that make this possible, you know, like if you were, I wanted to grow up having the white picket fence and, you know, the wife, the kids, the dog, and all those things, you know, and in order to have what I've done with the wrestling and still like have a wife that stays with me and, you know, my daughter kind of loves me, I hope, you know, and then, yeah, what I have with Sebastian, it's just a wrestling thing. And he'd probably tell you that I probably I treated him too much like everyone else because I treat them all like my kids, man, you know?
Good.
Yeah. And he probably would say that, you know? And at the end of the day, I was just true to what I'm trying to do, which is build men and women that are going to be quality citizens, giving back to this world and loving America. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I mean, I'm just looking at your website now. The coaches you have around your program, even if you had to go away for the weekend, I mean, it seemed like you got the coaches
It's
staff
never an issue.
hold down the fort, man. You got Frankie Edgar helping you out. You got Vinny Delthab, Scott Winston's in the room, Nate Jackson in the room, BJ Young, Hayden Cameron, Doug Hammond, Danny Rodriguez, your son. I mean, I could go on and on with the people that I see on here, and I know they're there because I've seen videos, I've seen pictures of those guys are in your room all the time. I mean, your room is constantly flooded with good people. I mean, so talk about your coaching staff and the people you have around you at the club.
Yeah, I am fortunate, you know, like you mentioned, all those guys, Jimmy Lawson now, you know, and, you know, the unsung heroes, like the guys that are state champs and stuff, as you know, in wrestling, some of them make great coaches, you know, and I'm fortunate to have great champion coaches, you know, but I have plenty of guys that maybe didn't win state titles that are amazing coaches at different levels, you know, like it's not easy to be a top coach. You know what I mean? You have to have a different mentality. You're not going to get a guy that wants to teach high crotches, you know, crazy 5 succession moves and throw him in a top class. That guy's going to go crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So you got to have guys with different skill sets. And I feel like some of my unsung heroes are like a BJ Young and Steve Knapp, who like helped me, or Danny Rodriguez, who helped me with my top program. And man, that's work, you know? Like those guys are the foundation, you know, and the other thing that's hard, as you know, is consistency. I have to credit my guys with the consistency. Like you say, I travel, I have to do things. And man, it's rare for me to get a guy say, hey, I'm not going to be there tonight. It's usually, and I also always have 2 guys plus me. So even if we run in those situations, I kind of have it covered because it's a, you know, I feel like it's our obligation to make sure that the kids are getting looks. And when you have the way the clubs are growing like we all did, you know, if we're the only guy in there, not everybody's getting seen, saw, or heard, you know? So I really try to create that environment where even that kid that maybe is like freaking 2 and 10, he knows we know his name. We know he's going to get better. She's going to get better. They know we're invested. Like if you're going to try, young man or young lady, we'll make you better. That's not a question here, you know? So that's where that give and take is, where you want to be this big club, but you got to find that balance, you know?
100%. And that's why I see all your kids and your parents tagging, you know, elite family, elite for life, this and that. I mean, you got a great, not only just staff, you got great families around you, great kids around you. You got that family atmosphere. All the kids that they want to win for their program. Like I tell my kids all the time, I own the club, but this is their club.
Yeah.
These guys will either, get more people in this room, and the more you love the club, the bigger the club will get. And I understand it. And again, that's how I kind of just modeled my wrestling club around yours. And that's why, I started out small and I'm at where I'm at now, but just keeping loyal people and stuff like that. We talk about that every single weekend.
All the time.
We could talk all day about that. And there's some things that we don't want to talk about in here, but we'll keep that to our personal talks that we'll talk.
But like credit to all the clubs, like all these guys, all you guys. Like honestly, I've been here, Hammer in the beginning. When I first came back, Edge was up north and it was Hammer here, and then you had the Millers down south or with Wrecking Crew, but Orchard down with Vern, rest his soul, down south, and it wasn't like it is today, man. So to see all you guys to do what you do, and we push each other, and 99.9% of us get along. I would say 100% of us all respect each other, at least, because you can't honestly look at a guy and be like, oh, his club sucks or he sucks.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no way they would have people there if they sucked. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, so you've been keeping busy with the during the quarantine. I seen that you're doing the live Zoom classes, and you got a ton of good people that are coming in and doing it. The one thing that I did see, which was awesome, was a brand new mats that you guys just got into your gym. They look so fresh. You probably have that good fresh smell still. The kids haven't been on that yet, right?
No, and they're all so excited to get on it. You know,
They
they were
probably
sitting on
can't
the
wait to get in there, man.
yeah, they were sitting on the porch for like months, and I've had them since like December. And they were sitting on the porch out there, and the kids were like, "What are you doing?" I kept on saying, like, after the season, I wanted to start the spring excited, like with a new look and everything for everyone. And then we got COVIDed up, but
Yeah.
you know, yeah. But you're right, like those little things, you know, excitement and everybody feeling like they're a part of something. And you know, I feel like everybody does. I truly do. I watch all you guys, you know, and I, like you say, I try to give out advice if I can that can help you. And I from Red Nose Mike and just everyone, honestly, Potato, all of them. There's not a club that I don't respect and I don't talk to the guys.
Yeah.
Sure Thing and Morello. Just because we're competitors doesn't mean we can't respect each other. You know what I mean? And yeah, there's guys out there that do things different than I do it, and maybe I don't agree with it, but like that's the way they do it. It isn't for me to judge, And everybody's like, oh, he's not like this, or he's not like that, or she's not like that. Yeah, but it's working for kids that are in that system.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, Respect it and make sure you're prepared to beat them,
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to think about how successful New Jersey wrestling is just because of all the clubs, that are in every geographical part of New Jersey. I mean,
Yeah.
it's only going to benefit our team. I know we talked about, maybe get like an all New Jersey team for like these freestyle and stuff like that, to try to put the best guys out there, to represent New Jersey. I want to talk about New Jersey wrestling. I mean, you said that. Okay, so you're the vice
No,
president.
but let's talk about that for 1 second. Let's talk about that and
Okay.
like just that, like all us club guys, like we're a big probably part of the issue. Some of us are probably like a part of the issue why that doesn't happen. And I would love to see over time where everybody could put their club on the side and we did do Virginia Beach as New Jersey, or
I told you
did do
I was in
Lake
for it.
Placid. And it doesn't have to be like, I don't care, like if it's called, it should be called Team New Jersey. I mean, you know what I mean? Even if we're not USA Wrestling New Jersey, we are all from New Jersey. We could be Club New Jersey, whatever. But I believe just based on the teams that I bring and the guys I know around here, like Triumph, Sure Thing, we bring over 20 teams down there. Imagine how many teams we could bring if we all work together, We all are short in some weights as you start to build your lineups 3 deep, 4 deep, And on those weekends, no one wants to share, but by Sunday, people are so beat up. Some of them are just not the wrestler they were on Friday.
100%.
And you need to be able to have people to understand that if we really wanted to go down there and compete in those kind of numbers, And it couldn't be piss fights over like my kid's better than that kid. You would have to trust the coaches, and we'd all have to, this dude beat that dude. And all right, man, we're trying to win here. Cool, let's do it, And
Yeah.
I think with this cycle of coaches of you guys out there today and the relationships that we see, that we're closer than ever to getting something like that done. That's for sure.
100%, man. After this whole quarantine thing, I think maybe the mindset of some people, some coaches may be like, you know what, there's more than your pride in yourself and your club, that put that to the side. I mean, look, we're shut down in our freaking houses. Us, celebrities, all these damn people, we're all the same human being right now. We're in a freaking house, stuck here. I mean, why not coexist together and do those type of things that you talk about? I've talked to you many times. I was always down for that.
It's a dream of mine.
Yeah,
I've been bringing it up forever.
I know. And you said you wanted to maybe do like an organization or something like that. I mean, I told you I was always down for that. And even whenever we do duels and stuff like that, I will call you. Yeah, are you going? Do you want to maybe do something together? I mean, I'm always down for that.
And I've always, like, you know, Meliconico, when he used to be Rhino back in the day, he was another guy that's been around here and did great things for wrestling. And I actually inherited some of his guys when, like, Scotty Winston moved from North Jersey down into our area. I mean, I got a kid that was already a killer. I give so much credit to Mike and Gene Wazark on, like, some of the guys that I met from that time. But, yeah, like you're saying, man, if we could all just kind of figure this out, and like this virtual stuff is rough, man. Like you were saying, we were doing these kids, I mean, we all hated those practices growing up in life, the one-on-one drilling by yourself. Like, who like enjoyed that? Nobody. That made you just mentally tough as hell. That's why we did it, you know. And now to watch these kids like have to do it day after day, that's not what wrestling's about, man. It's about getting your hands on somebody, you know, reaching out, touching somebody. And I wonder if our first cycle is going to be with them with masks on in our wrestling rooms, but us not being allowed to touch each other, us mark the floor at 6 feet around, and then have to have like 5 classes per night because you can't fit all your kids in.
I've already thought about that. I was going to ask you that here, but I was like, you know what?
That's how I'm thinking that will be the first phase. And I would also, I'm worried about, I need the parents to reassure me that they're comfortable, because I don't want to put anyone in danger. And you know, wrestling's my passion of love. I have the job, that thing right there, WRCA, you know, I'm a Cisco partner. I do that. I understand. But for you other guys, we have to figure out how to keep this going, you know, and doing what we're doing.
You know, the guy over at Compound over in Georgia, I mean, he wrote a lengthy wrestling club. He wrote a lengthy thing on Facebook that he said that Georgia is supposed to lift everything open up on Friday, but he ain't opening. No. He said he ain't opening. He doesn't feel comfortable opening. And he got like 80 comments, and I think 79 of them were all positive. Like, yo, you know, you had that one crazy parent. They're like, oh, we want to get the hell in the damn room. But you know what? I mean, you had 79 positive comments of people being like, dude, I respect you. That means you care about our kids. You know, you don't want to just throw them right back. So he's not opening. So that was a question I was going to ask you on the outside.
Yeah.
But again,
and I'm going to use my first responders. I mean, I have like several in my club that I respect their knowledge, and they stay in tune with like the news and doing the things. And when I shut down, I was the first guy to cancel class like on the 11th, and everybody, no one was doing anything. That was one of my first responders being like, yo, this stuff's legit. I said, don't do it. And she's like, yeah, call it. So we've been closed ever since that day. And when I open, I will be checking with my first responders and getting that data that I need to make the right decision. You know, like I said, we as wrestling are in a situation right now where we can really, really go in a bad direction if they start finding loopholes to call our sport that ability to catch this freaking virus, man.
And it is our sport first.
Yeah, and administration's going to use that to get Title IX us out. I mean, that's not even a question. So we really got to be careful here how we approach this reattacker, man. We really do.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, again, going back to and then we'll move forward. I think if there's anybody that could get it going, to get this little thing going between the club coaches, it'd be you, okay? Because of the respect that you have in the New Jersey community and around the club scene, etc. So you know, that's definitely somewhere down the line. When I want, all right. So you're the vice president of USA Wrestling in New Jersey. Were you a part, or were you sitting in? Were you listening? A part of when they were going to cancel the kids' dates?
No, at this point, I'm out, right? So I'm going to set that straight, because I still get calls to this day. People always hit me up like I'm the USA Wrestling guy. And as I know, people have been seeing your Facebook posts after you do this a lot, you know? So to all you New Jersey people that call me when the state stuff, I'm fine with it, man. I definitely don't get angry. I answer your questions. I take care of you. So feel free to do Yeah, no, like it's never like that. Honestly, it's people saying, hey, how do I weigh in? Or, hey, how do I do this? Hey, how do I do that? And I'm like, yo, I'm not with USA Wrestling, but I can help you, and I will, and I do. And I'm so cool with that. I love it. I love that they feel like they could call me. Just like my wrestling page. They think I run every freaking tournament. So I get, hey, when do I weigh in? When do we get this?
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. Wow.
Yeah, so I get those, and I'm like, no, you have to call the person on the flyer. And I get those calls all the time. And I'm down with it, man, because most of the time I can answer the question. But as you're saying, with the VP, when I came in, I was there with Rich Santoli, all right? And Rich is a great guy, and I know that everybody has their own thing, man. But I've been at USA like in this wrestling thing for so long that I can remember back in the day with Miles Hahn, bless his soul, and the Hans, a big part of building the Shore Wrestling in the beginning, and Richie down here and the Gray family, and man, legends of wrestling down here, and Richie was part of all that. And USA Wrestling wasn't organized like amazing yet. And Mr. Welsh was in charge of USA Wrestling. And he was amazing. Obviously, John Welsh, Pete Welsh, two incredible New Jersey wrestlers. And Mr. Welsh, he did an amazing job there. But somewhere between the give and take of that, it got political. And with the voting, you couldn't get these guys. I'm not going to say who, but like these guys couldn't get what they wanted done. And this guy was maybe not getting everything he was done because of the fight there, So as you know, USA Wrestling is about showing up at meetings, all right? And a lot of people don't want to show up at meetings for many reasons. They're you know how it is, where they're scheduled, where they're at, Yeah, just a million reasons. But some people get organized, and in that situation, that's how we lost maybe that generation of USA Wrestling, which I felt like Rich did a good job during his time to get us where we are today.
100%.
And now Dickman, yeah, but like I feel now Mr. Welsh is back. There's things in that generation that is above me, and that's the Warren Reeds, that's the Harry Turners, that's the man, there's so many of them. The Louis, Screwy Louis. There's so many of these guys that are refs, and So that generation, a lot of times in wrestling, the ego doesn't want that previous generation. They want a clean slate for some reason. And you watch it at high schools. The young guy always wants to scare away the old dog that's been there. And instead of because the old dog doesn't want to let go of the reins. I know there's a million reasons why this happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, communication probably would fix this a lot of the times. But the egos and all that happens, and it turns into a war, and I'm going to win because it's wrestling. And boom, now we have this big change where we lost some of that original generation, and they're back today, like a Pete DiBiase, another guy. You know what I mean? There's just so many that, like you guys, like there's just one generation above me in wrestling. It's not, but they do so much, and then they got moved away during Rich time. Rich came in, and he got serious. Rich had a plan to get USA Wrestling where it is. Look at the Grays. Look at the kids we produced during that time. We were going out to Fargo. Rich was making the tournament bigger, and it wasn't just Rich. There's a million guys under him, like I tell you. But Rich was good at treating everyone the same. And some people would say that wasn't good enough, but he did a good job of treating everyone the same, right? And sometimes that caused a lot of friction for some people, you know what I mean? And I understand it because I watched it. And Rich is a sweetheart, which a lot of people don't know,
I know that side of him, yeah.
All right, so then you would know. Like, he yells at me, get this, when he was the guy, I would get yelled at the weekend. He'd threaten to take my shit off. I would yell back, and, but it was out of respect, and he was probably right. I was probably past the line or, going to the table. So anyway, so that I come in with Rich, and I watch Rich doing what we're doing, and all of that going on, but wrestling's getting a little crazier, and more people want to get this, and more people want to get that. And once again, we get that situation where it's weird, and Rich got taken out, and, Dickman and these guys moved in. But I was there with Rich, and I felt the way it ended for Rich that I didn't want to be part of that. Like, that's not what wrestling is to me. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's called politics. There's no association in this world that doesn't have them. There's no organization of governing body that doesn't have politics. So it's just, but that's not what I'm in this shit for. That's why I'm a no-nonsense club guy. That's why I couldn't be a high school coach, because I would lose my job in a day.
No,
So,
and to touch on the the Rich thing, I mean, listen, he set something in motion, which is going to probably go on for many years. And what I mean by that is, I got my shit taken away from me. I got yelled at by him. I've gotten verbal arguments with him, but he kept us in line. Okay. That's number one. Okay. So now that he's not part of it, even that he's not part of it, you kind of still respect everything. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he has it ingrained in your head.
Absolutely.
You can't go over the rope. You got to go around the freaking thing and go through the damn thing. And the guys that do it now, listen, they know they got a little bit stress-free, that Rich is not on them.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a part of him in there that still has that richest looking type of mentality. And you know what? Even though when Rich was there, there was not one person on the mat that should not have should have been on the mat. The match is clear. The fans can see. And
he moved us into the Sun Arena, so he made us more of a high school event.
Exactly.
He handled a lot with the money, with the parking is a big deal. A lot of people don't know that, but like parking costs a lot of money there. So the negotiation factor that Rich does, it really matters. And
so, I'm sorry.
All right, no, but I don't want to just leave it on Rich because he did his thing. He did great. Unfortunately, he moved on. Dickman and these guys, they've come in and I feel like they've taken the ball and run with it great, man. You know, I feel like more people feel like they can talk. There's a younger generation of USA Wrestler board members now of like that are doing great job, you know, and they're being heard. And you're also getting new guys like Jay Nason there and Heller and guys that are, you know, still involved deep. They're still on the mats and they're going to have a more current approach, I guess. You know.
Yeah. No, I said the Giants are up. They're on the clock. 7:10 left on the clock.
Who do you think they're going to take?
I don't know. I haven't even seen who the hell went the first three. Someone had a question. They said, Steve, would it be? How did it feel to watch your son win the Big Ten at the rack?
Man, it's hard. I ain't gonna lie. You know, like being a parent coach, it's really hard. Watching him as a youth kid, being able to go grow with him, I guess, is giving me the reassurance that as he got older, it gets easier, but it's not easier, man, because the stakes are higher, but you're more confident that your kid's prepared.
Gotcha.
So like those moments, but you're not sleeping good on a Big Ten weekend, a national weekend. You're not eating good, you know. Like it's definitely gets to me because I know how hard he wants it and bad he trains for it, and all our guys, man. Like those are the weekends that we're training for. I mean, that's where champions are made, you know.
When I had your son on last week, I showed him this picture. I told him I would do the same on your thing. All right, I think that was one of the best pictures that were captured of that weekend. I mean,
and it's, you know what's funny is you guys see that, but you don't see that we didn't talk for like probably 2 weeks before this picture because he pissed me off in that match when he slammed that kid from SIUE. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no one would know this, but I'm going to share it. So that's why this interview is kind of unique because I don't normally share a lot of things. But
yeah.
All right, so like that situation, I'm a big old school guy. I mean, I believe in whooping people's asses, but I believe in respecting them, you know. And if they're going to make it a little hard, I'm down with fucking torturing people, but like within the rules that they created to make sure that we wrestling. Otherwise, we're fighting, right?
Yeah.
So in that match, my son had sat for like 6 weeks, right? Since Midlands. He just coming back. And, you know, we only have a couple matches before we go into the Big Ten. So you want him to get 2 full 7-minute matches, like get your lungs pushed, you know? So that kid bends his fingers back and he's getting frustrated. He slams him, you know? So then after that match, I'm in Princeton that day. I'm watching Princeton's duel, but I'm at the social happy hour. And we're watching it in that where they had their social. And he slams the kid. And I'm like, you son of a, you know, like I'm pissed. So I text him and he's like, oh, it was legal. I'm like, legal? I'm like, you bounced him like a basketball. Are you kidding me? You know? And so we don't talk from that match until Big Ten week. Now I have to be a parent. Yeah. You know, like I can be the hard wrestling coach for a while, but then you have to be the parent, even if you got to break like that. I was still angry and disappointed, but I'm like, you know, I got to love my kid. He needs support going into the Big Ten. He's got probably 2 huge matches here. And if we're not in good vibe, that's never good for anyone, you know? So I reach out to him early in the week. How you doing? Nice and simple and stuff. And we pick up just where we left off. And that's where me and Sebastian are are like wrestling buddies and dad, you know, like we have that. I don't need friends. He's my son, you know, he's my son that wrestles for me, you know. uh is he my friend? You know, I got plenty of friends. I only have one son, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I prefer him just to be my son. Same with my daughter, you know, like I prefer just to be my daughter, you know. The friend thing, yeah, you know, like you got tons of those, you know? So, like, to have that impact on your kid and all that. So, anyway, that day that goes on, and even when he wins with Gross, he comes up there in the stands all fired up, and I'm, like, pissed at him. And I'm like, yo, it's only the semifinal. It's only the semifinal. And he's like, you know, Sebastian. He's just Sebastian. He just prepares and he believes, man. It's an incredible thing to watch. And he grabs me and he does that thing, you know, and you're just like, that moment when you guys see, there's like a zen of me and him because we just have all those years. So I know what he's feeling. There's no words needed. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you really didn't want to kick his ass in that picture then?
I can't anymore. You know?
All right. I see where you're going with that. I want to ask one more question, and then there's a couple questions that people want to ask here.
Right.
What I mean, it seems to be there's a little hotbed of wrestling, of girl wrestling going on in the Jackson area and in your area and in your wrestling club alone. Talk about the growth of wrestling in Central New Jersey.
Great question, man. That's awesome. And it isn't just in Jackson. I mean, Jackson and some of the towns like
a lot of people.
yeah, because they're high. Yeah, but you have to look how it actually happens, and it happens by the high school embracing the girl wrestling. You know, Jackson is is ahead. Manalapan's ahead. Raritan's ahead. Delsey, like the teams that embrace the girl thing and give them the opportunity. It happens, and there's killers out there waiting for opportunities. I fortunately was into the game. I've always had girls, from Kate Fitzpatrick. Like, you guys might not know her, but she wrestled in the big league. She's from PA. Bree Bogdan, you know, she went out and did McKendree. So I've had girls at the higher level before they had the opportunity like they do today. Ari right now, you know, is out there on a scholarship getting her nursing degree. We have girls that were just ahead, and I was fortunate enough. And honestly, now it's just growing everywhere. And I think, you know, like I get different opportunities like we all do to work with the girls with the USA Wrestling. And, you know, Lori Ayers is just an amazing addition to our Jersey wrestling and what she's doing for the girls, organizing. But, you know, Bilker and all the other girls that did it before her, but Lori's been able to take the pre-work and really organize it and move it forward. So it's only going to get better for the girls. The more these high school coaches could embrace it, the better and quicker it will happen for them, you know? The other thing is like we have to address the folk style freestyle thing for them. You know, everybody's like, I don't understand why the girls wrestle folk style and then they go to college and they do freestyle. Well, I'll tell you why. Because we struggle to have regular folk style refs. How we have that many less freestyle Greco refs, you know? So we don't have the resources to give them what they need. You know what I mean? And the ref associations are working on that, but it takes more of the younger generation to get involved and really want to step on the mat and take that burden of being a ref and a freestyle. And I have guys like Linderman and Doyle and, you know, guys out there that are doing it and giving it a try. Jared, Charlie's kid, you know? So I'm so proud of those guys that are like, hey, I can't wrestle no more in my job or this, that, but I can on the weekend ref and do this. And we need that in New Jersey. And these are all the things that it's going to take for us to really be that national powerhouse that we talk shit like we are. You know what I mean?
And that would, you know, that would definitely help for the growth of not even only just the girls, the boys too. You know,
the boys, 100%, man. And that's the other thing, you know, USA Wrestling and the NJRTC. I'm part of the NJRTC board, and I continue to kind of lobby for this. But I believe there needs to be a grassroots wrestling agenda based out of one of these nonprofits that are out there that, you know, systematically replicate the high school district regions and stuff. And we break this state up into micros with local. John Welsh had broke this up in the early 80s. And that's what I'm telling you. He's a great mind for wrestling. He had this in a book that his wife tells me about that I've never seen. And he has this all drawn out. And he's back at USA Wrestling now, you know?
That's good.
Yeah, but we don't have enough people involved to do all these things. And that's the thing, man. We got to get more people activated.
Awesome, awesome. We have about a little, like 11 minutes left. I'd like for people to get some questions in, and then we'll try to answer them quick so we can get to a couple of them. Yeah, Mike Denver asked, what advice would you give to a head coach?
Mike Denver, one of my national champions. There's a dude, right? Michael, I love you, bro. And you guys, like back in the early days, when I used to have my club, I've always been a businessman, Dave. So like some people in the beginning be like, oh, Steve collects, Steve collects, Steve collects, Steve collects. Oh, he's always about money. No, Steve is offering you a service. No, but listen, I'm telling you, Steve was offering a service that I felt like I wanted to build what I built today. I wanted to be able to pay guys and, pay rent and do all these things, And people like Michael Denver, Ryan Lyons, they would come and just give me what they had, their own money. They don't come from a lot. Their parents did an amazing job with them, but they made them earn their way. And they would come. And back in the day, I took that money, unfortunately. Justin, if you're out there right now, Shore Regional, your money's in an envelope in my room, in my wrestling room. So come back to me. So today that never happens. But back in the old days, you had special kids coming in like, Coach Steve, I really want to do this. This is what I can offer. But back in the day, I was too dumb to save that money to give it back to them. Today, Justin from Shore Regional, he came to me. He pays his own way. And these days, I know better. And I told my wife, every time he makes a payment, you put it in an envelope. And we just keep that for him. And now he's graduated high school and everything. And I just remember, he needs to come back and collect his dough. I appreciate those kids that really go out of their way to get something that they think I can do for them. You know what I mean?
And you know what? And that's awesome, man. And I posted something a while back about one of my kids, Merlin Sanat from Orange. He takes a train and a Uber to my wrestling club. I don't charge him a dime, because the fact of the matter that you can do that and come to my club, I mean, that's priceless for me, man. So I wouldn't ask that kid for a dime. I said, just show up and give me everything you got. And you know what? Kids like that, they're going to go a long ways. So
let me get back to Mike, though. I know I'm running out of time. So, Michael, what I would, like a guy like you, you're a national champ from Trenton State, like TCNJ, bro. Guys like you guys and any coach out there, man, the kids are going to bleed off your passion and your respect and your work ethic. A lot of these coaches want to sit in there and run practice. Kids get a lot more out of that coach that wants to bend down and sweat a little bit, Maybe grab him for a go. Maybe not win. Maybe you lose to the 80-pounder like me, or the 90-pounder, a heavy like Epperly this year. Too much for me, but I'll still go with him to know that he knows I care. You know what I mean? And even our heavyweights, I'll go with them and they'll break me. Dylan Waller getting big. A lot of these kids, but I'll go just so that you can. So Denver, engaging them, knowing they know your name, those friendships, they'll give you the work, and then the work will give you the wins.
That's awesome. Just so you know, when you're answering these questions, I'm taking them in too, though. By the way, Coach Roman said, "What advice would you give a father/coach to help get the best out of the wrestler-son relationship, as well as get the best out of each other?"
Yeah, I would get back to that friendship thing. You want to be dad, like I tell you that all the time. I always talk about that, and balance. I push a lot. The balance in life is huge. And, I've always been into adventure. I ride dirt bikes, you see, and I skydived a lot in my 20s, I have over 1,000 skydives. I spent a lot of time, met my wife skydiving. So I've always had balance where I mountain biked and, competed with that a little bit. My brother owned a club. So I always had that balance, and that balance, I feel like, allowed me to accept how the cycle of my son's journey was going to go. So when I also talked to him at an early age, man, I also we had talks when he was young, and I would say, there's going to be guys cheering for you, and then guys trying to cheering that you're losing. And they don't know you, and you don't know them, and you're going to look at them, and you're going to be like, why are you not cheering that for me? You know what I mean? And it's going to be because of me, because what they feel about me, And we had these conversations. So we were able to navigate through those emotions when he was in that big match. When Sebastian wrestled, man, the mat filled up. Jackson was a killer back at the time, Jackson was winning the Jersey Shore League. I mean, we had a big. Between me and Short Thing, we filled up that team pretty solid with club kids. You know,
Yeah.
so I feel like Sebastian was around a lot of good wrestlers, and we had those opportunities to grow through those moments. And that's what you know, the balance of your wrestling, you know, is that being able to come into those moments, acknowledge those moments, and grow from them. Some of these guys look for those moments every weekend, and you can't grow from them every weekend because you're a freaking kid. You need time to absorb and be like, oh, all right, now I get it. Like, that dude doesn't like my dad, you know, like that kind of thing. So
Well, we had that. I had that conversation with Frankie and his son, and everybody wanted to beat Santino because of Frank, you know. And they don't know Frank at all. They're not even. They don't know him personally. They don't know that he really is a freaking good dude, you know. And he's a nice guy. And that's why I mean, everyone cheers for him anyway. But people will try to maybe beat Santino, or maybe hurt Santino, and kind of just trying to get at Frank. And Frank can just give two shits about that, you know. He just wants the kid to wrestle, you know.
But that's the growth in him, because when we first started, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
And yeah, like that's a growth in everyone, man. And that's why when these parents judge these people, you know, everybody's learning. It's not easy to be a wrestling parent, man. First thing, a lot of people say that the kid's carrying their last name, so they kind of take that as their ego out there instead of looking at the development of that wrestler. And that's common. But as an adult, it takes time to get through that cycle as a wrestling parent.
All right, we got about. I'm sorry. See, I can talk to you all day, bro. I mean,
It's all good.
I think we got to do this again, man.
It's all good.
We have 4 minutes. See, how can I change? How can I change to stay focused for the entire season next year? Ed Todd.
You know, and that's the other thing. Yeah, but let's talk about that focus, gentlemen, wrestlers. You know, nowadays everybody's got this focus where we need to be at our top of our game.
Froze a little bit. Still there, bud? Steve, you still there? All right. I don't know what happened to Steve. I don't know if his phone might have died or what. But well, hopefully he gets back on again. Dude, I'm telling you right now, I can talk to Steve Rivera all day long. You know, I know talking to some of these coaches, he left. So he may maybe come back in again. Hold on 1 second. Maybe we can start him over again. Okay. Do you want to see? Okay. Are you there?
Sorry about my phone. Yeah, you're right. I needed to handle that. All right, but real quick, because I was running out of time. That focus, guys. Remember, man, you're in this for state titles. You're in this for postseason wins, you know? Yeah, if you could go down to National High School, you know, Nationals and win that, that's going to help you. But the coaches are looking to see who wins in March. That doesn't change. When you get to college, you have to win in March, right? So your focus should be based on performance at its best for March. All these other things, yeah, you got to be peaking for if you're trying to win the this and the that's and the this and that's, but they should be prioritized based on your ultimate goal. You know, your year of competition should be prioritized on peaks and valleys so you can be at a higher point. When you try to just be focused the whole time, you don't have that extra juice. You're just in the middle. So that ability to know I need to be good here, and then I get a couple of weeks where I don't, or months, and then I got to come up again. That is where we're at our best. Any high performance athlete, you know, it's a must.
100%. Hey, do you want to go another like 15 more minutes?
Dave, I'm good, man. If you want,
okay. I think we got a lot of questions. Let me just get your guys. Thank you very much, Mindset guys. AJ Falcone, thanks, guys. I know. Thank you for the great words. I mean, I'm trying to get it out there. Renee, I see you out there. Cody, I see you out there. There's another guy you got there, Cody, that's been coming out and helping you guys with your wrestling, guys. I think your wife said, one last question, ask Steve, how do you get so lucky to marry his freaking awesome wife that puts up with all this shit?
You know what? But honestly, man, for you club guys that own the clubs, man, like, it's important. It's not as easy as people claim, man. You know, like, we get home for dinner. I get home for dinner at, you know, after practice, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. She goes to work as a bus aide at 5 o'clock in the morning. She gets up. So, like, that that imbalance and that struggle, if your teammate ain't there, your wife, I mean, it makes it real. Like, that's why my kids are so awesome, because my wife was able to be like the stay at home, around the house, cooks breakfast still for them. Like, it's so important if you're trying to be a club guy and raise a family and really do all this.
No, I get it 100%.